Hi guys, today's lesson is on slope. So our first definition wants us to define what rate of change is. So the rate of change is a ratio that shows how one variable changes with respect to another. So on a linear graph, this is called the slope of the line. So the words rate of change and slope mean the same thing. So if you're ever doing a problem and it asks for the rate of change, you could use the slope formula, or if there's a graph, you could do what we're doing today and do rise over run. So rate of change and slope mean the same thing, and all it is a ratio or a fraction that shows how one variable changes with respect to another. All right, so it's a slope is written as a ratio, and like I said, that's a fancy word for fraction. So all a ratio is a fraction of the vertical change, which we'll refer to as the rise, and the horizontal change, which we will call the run, between any 2 points on a line. So it's always going to be rise over run. This remains constant or the same for any 2 points on the same line. So it doesn't matter which 2 points you pick. Any 2 points on the same line will give you the same slope. Okay, slope is written as a fraction in simplest form, which means you just have to reduce them. So it's a fraction in simplest form. And the variable we use for slope, strangely enough, is the variable m. So when you see the letter m, that means slope. So we have 4 types of slope. We have a positive slope, which would be literally like going uphill. So positive. So literally think of a person walking up a hill. That's a positive slope. Whereas if you had to slide down a hill, and you're like literally falling down this hill, that would be a negative slope. So those are pretty straightforward. We also have something that's called a zero slope, and this will happen when you have a perfectly straight horizontal line. So there is no rise, there's only a run. So that would be, then we'd have 0 divided by something, so it would just end up in a 0 slope. Our last type is an undefined slope. So something's undefined when it is perfectly vertical up and down. So on this one, there's a rise. We do go up and down, but we do not go run. We do not go side to side. All right, so those are our 4 types. So how we find slope on a graph? Let's talk about that next. So remember, m means slope. So the formula is always your rise over your run. So it's going to be how much we go up or down over how much we go left or right. So up or down has to be the number on top. So you're going to pick 2 points, which they already did for us. So they pick the points here and here. And you're literally going to count. So I'd have to rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I rise 7 and I run 1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope would be rise over run, so 7 over 4. Something else we should probably talk about, when you go up, you keep it positive. If I had to travel down, I would put a negative in front of that number. When you go left, you go negative, you say it's a negative number, and when you go right, it's going to be a positive number. Go ahead and try number 2 on your own. So they gave you this point here and this point here. Remember to do rise over run. So you need to count how much you go down first and then count how much your run is and write your answer as a fraction. So go ahead and do that now. Also remember, if your fraction can be reduced, make sure you do that as well. You should have gotten -1/3 because we went down 3 and right 9. So down 3 would be -3, right 9 would be +9. So -3/9 reduces to -1/3. All right, for number 3, we have a horizontal line. So if you look back up at the top, we said when you have a horizontal line, our slope should be 0. But let's talk about why. So if our point is here and here, how much do I rise to get from my left point to my right point? I don't rise at all. It's literally right across from each other. It does not go up or down. So I don't rise any, but I do go right 1, 2, 3, 4. And 0 divided by 4 is 0. All right, go ahead and try number 4 on your own. And I do want you to show some work. So do your rise over run. What 2 numbers do you get? Plug it in a calculator. What does your calculator say when you plug it in? And then lastly, I'm going to ask for what is the slope of this line then? So you should have said between these 2 points, you'd have to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So down 5. But you have to go left or right any? No. So -5 divided by 0 should have resulted in an error message on your calculator. So we say that the slope of this line is undefined. All right, go ahead and try number 5 on your own. For number 6, I'll go ahead and do another one with you. We're looking for the slope between these 2. So again, we always do rise over run. So I'd have to count. I go down 1, 2, 3, and right 1. So my slope is -3/1, which I can also write as -3. Either one of those is a correct answer. All right, go ahead and try number 7 on your own. For number 8, I would go down 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went down, so that's negative, and right 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a +4. So my slope, it's rise over run. So I went down 4, right 4. That is fine as your answer, but that does reduce to -1/1 or -1. So we do have to reduce it. So either one of these could be your answer. Go ahead and try number 9 on your own. Now I would like you to try number 11. I'm going to do 12 with you for another example. So I'd have to rise 2 and go right 3. So the slope of number 12 is 2/3. And that cannot be reduced, so that would be your answer. Try number 13 on your own. For number 14, here are my 2 points. So my rise would be down 2, so that's -2, and right 4. So my slope is down 2, right 4, so -2/4. When you reduce that, it reduces to -1/2. So the slope of this line is -1/2. All right, I would like you to try number 15 and 16 on your own. Then just a little friendly reminder here. Slope needs to be written as a fraction. It is not a coordinate. That's a very big mistake I see. So slope is a fraction. We always do rise over run. So remember, rise is up or down. That number goes on top. If it's up, your number will be positive. If it's down, your number should be negative. Your run is going right or left. If you move right, you should make your number positive. If you move left, your number should be negative. And just count. All right, if you have any questions, let us know.